Hi, this is Romana again. Today I'm going to talk with you about naysayers and critiques, including your own one. So, when you start expressing yourself creatively in whatever way, whether it's music or writing or speaking or singing or painting or sculpting or whatever it is, then it's possible that people will start to, actually push your negative thoughts about being an artist in some ways. And so I think it's very important to be very precious about what you're doing. Treat it like a baby. Treat it in the way that it's super precious and you want to protect it from everything. This little plant that is growing needs a lot of care and it needs a lot of attention, but not too much, because otherwise if your plant gets too much water, for example, it dies as well. So give it just enough attention and look after it, look how it develops, but protect it from those critiques who could actually crush it at the very early beginnings. So I think it's very important instead to find like-minded people, people who will show you that they believe in you, whatever you do, and it doesn't matter how crazy you think the idea is what you're doing, they will still encourage you. So find people like that. It's very important. And what are you doing with the naysayers? Say thank you. Just you can be polite and kind with them and then move on. It's not important. Of course, this is easier said than done, because usually we see more red lights than green lights. So if you're driving and there are actually 5 green lights and suddenly there is a red light, you will just remember the red lights and you will have the feeling that you're constantly standing even though you are constantly driving actually through green lights. So be very aware of that, and also look at why do you think they think they are the right person and in the right position to say what they say about your work or your ambitions. Why do they think that? Is it because they're jealous? Very often the case, by the way. Maybe they wanted to do something like that as well, but they were never brave enough, or they felt like they were hindered on the way at some point. Usually these people are more on the frustrated side, and that's why I think it's very important to be kind to them and see it as it is. They're usually hurt people in that, especially in this area, but they are not, their opinion is not relevant. Relevant is what you feel and what you want to do. There is a reason why you have this drive. And I think one of the meanest critiques can be you, because the critique will very often compare your work to the work of people who have done this for many, many years. And they compare it not to the work when they started, but they compare it to the work at like 20 years, after 20 years, 30 years. Of course they have grown because they have practiced so much. They have taken so many lessons to become better. They have had all this training and they have all this experience. You're at the beginning of this line, probably. Maybe you're a little further in already when you watch this and feel discouraged by something. The point is, keep going. If this is something you really enjoy, if this is something that makes you happy, keep going. You will become better and better, but don't compare yourself with somebody else. Look at your own progress. Maybe you have, if it's singing, have a recording from before you started, or at the very beginning where you started, and then maybe a year later you have another recording and you compare the two. You will see the progress, the immense progress that you have made. Of course, considering that you have practiced regularly. And I think that is very important, that you only compare it to your own progress, or you look at your own progress. That is very important. It's not important what other people do. They are not in your life. They're not in your shoes. It's your life that you're living, and it's your creativity that you have, and it's your individual talents. And I say talents because while of course some people have different levels of talents, but usually there is a certain level of talent when you start something that puts you in that place. And it's not what and the average people will define as talent. I think it's something very different. It is something that it's more like a spark that you have for that thing. Let's go back to singing, because only you can sing the songs in the way you do, and only you will add to that story with your own voice, with the own way you're telling those stories with those notes that you're singing, and nobody else can do it in the same way. Of course, it's usually not that fantastic, and you can't be on the, I don't know, Royal Opera House if you're loving classical singing, or you will not fill big stadiums as a rock singer yet at the beginning. But all of the people who are doing that started somewhere, probably in their room at home somewhere. And it's about finding the goals that you can achieve. So you can have a big goal, of course, you should have big goals, but then break it down into smaller chunks, something that you can achieve. For example, expanding your range, trying out new songs that were too difficult at the beginning. Maybe you can find one that is a really good goal for within a year to achieve that. Maybe it's about learning a special technique when you draw some things that you really like, but you didn't have the skills yet. Learning those skills and becoming pretty good at that. These are the actual goals that you should have, and always compare it to a little bit before. See the progress, acknowledge the progress. I think that is incredibly important. So today I want to finish here. It's a bit of a shorter video, but I think it's very important what we discussed today, or what I discussed. Unfortunately, the discussion comes only afterwards, and I can respond to what you contribute to this discussion in the comments below this video. And I very much appreciate everything that you contribute. And yes, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, feel free to do so. And we'll see each other very, very soon. Thank you very much, and stay safe, and stay healthy, and stay creative. Bye-bye.